Hello everyone, welcome to my channel The Mental Traveler. I'm Caro Herrera and today I'm going to review Set A Watchman, which is considered by some to be the sequel of To Kill a Mockingbird and by others to be a first script of the famous novel. It was written by Harper Lee and it came out in 2015 amongst great controversy. It's not known if Lee ever intended to actually publish Set A Watchman because after How to Kill a Mockingbird she never published another book. And yet when this one came out it was very controversial because there are allegations that Harper Lee hadn't really authorized this, that people who knew her took advantage of her health decline to do this and get some profit out of it. The title, I believe, comes from a quote from the Bible, and the watchman it refers to is the famous Atticus Finch, who is guarding over the town of Macomb, Alabama, where How to Kill a Mockingbird took place. And this will be a review with spoilers, so take care. I grew up hearing about How to Kill a Mockingbird and I saw the movie once, but I didn't really get what it was about because I was quite young. But then in 2015 when Set A Watchman came out, I told myself that I had just had to start reading To Kill a Mockingbird. And now that I have, I totally loved it. I've already done a review for it. And then I was curious about what happens to the characters that I came to love. So I gave Set A Watchman a try, even though I knew there were a lot of people who had problems with the way the characters are portrayed in this novel. Scout Finch is working in New York. She is in her late 20s and I think that she's a journalist like me. She goes home to Alabama for a couple of weeks where we meet up with her father and his siblings, and we also get to know who Scout's sweetheart is, who is this young man whom Atticus took under his wing after the events of How to Kill a Mockingbird. So we also get to know what happens to some of the other characters from the original novel, and we even get to learn how Scout's first kiss happened, how Jem was like when he went out on dates, and so on. There is this sort of sadness to this though, because I just love the way these kids were when they were innocent and young in How to Kill a Mockingbird. So to see them go through the things that I went through, yes, I could relate to them, but I was also sort of mourning for their childhood. Anyways, some days after Scout arrives at Macomb, she sees her father and her boyfriend attending this meeting where a lot of white men are talking about how African Americans aren't really ready back in the 50s, I think, to deal with so much freedom, or at least that's what I understood. And Scout is utterly shocked by her father and her boyfriend being there. She sees it as a sort of treason to the memory of the man she thought her father was, because decades before, in the events of How to Kill a Mockingbird, he had defended an African American man in a really famous trial. And so we see Scout going through all of the process of being shocked to disgusted to angry and finally to sort of accepting it and realizing that this had to happen to her. I give Set A Watchman a 3.5 out of 5 stars review. I guess I did like knowing what happens to the characters afterwards because I love spoilers, so even though I was mourning for the childhood of Scout and Jem and who they had been, I was sort of curious to know what happens to them when they are teenagers. But the writing style is quite poor at some points when compared to How to Kill a Mockingbird. I guess this could be maybe because it was always meant to be just a first draft of How to Kill a Mockingbird, or because Harper Lee didn't intend it for anyone to see it. Maybe she just had to write this in order to write How to Kill a Mockingbird, or she just needed to write this to get it out of her system, even though it wasn't properly written, because maybe nobody else was meant to read it but her. I should also say that there is a lot of controversy about how Atticus Finch is portrayed here. How to Kill a Mockingbird, he is this sort of symbol of justice. Well, his description shocked many people because he was doing and saying and maybe thinking a lot of stuff that many people would never have believed him capable of, because it's a sort of treason to the man that everyone has grown to love for decades. Having said that though, I do not regret having read Set A Watchman, because even though I don't know that much about the social events of that era, if I just concentrate on how it was time for Scout to sort of grow up and realize that Atticus has feet of clay and that she has to sort of start thinking for herself and not just believe in something because her father does. I don't know, that's sort of a good lesson, I think. But yeah, other than that, I'm not sure that I can really get into a lot of depth when reviewing Set A Watchman because I haven't personally experienced all of the issues that are dealt with here, so I don't think I'm that justified. I was only a reader. Hopefully that made sense. Other things that I did love though was getting back into the town of Macomb because I love the American South, and it was poignant to recall Scout being little, and yet we don't get to see Boo Radley here, so maybe that's just a sort of confirmation that Scout had grown up. So this is it for my review of Go Set A Watchman by Harper Lee. I hope you liked it, but even if you didn't, share anything you like about this review with me, please. In the description box below you can find the link to the Goodreads page for Go Set A Watchman. Thanks a lot for watching my video of the sequel / first draft of How to Kill a Mockingbird. I'm Caro Herrera, the Mental Traveler. Take care, goodbye.